Okay, so I've gone on ahead. I'm not sure if I'm going to include this with the transformation video Prime or this. I'm just going to keep this separate, so it's just very quickly. All right, so here they both are side by side. So um, uh, with that other comparison video, I did see that this is the way it is with the old shoulder. So I was really, really confused. I was trying to jam it in because I was comparing it to this one. I'm going to say this. Um, the Haslab version is the version that I think we kind of wish we had when we got this. The shoulder connection is much more better. It just has the articulation. Is it a lot more? The fingers here is all these four are all connected. Let's see. Same thing here with Haslab. Same thing. It's not like the fingers articulation are improved. It's the same way. This side over here, as we saw during the transformation on the original, it's hollow, and on the new one it is not. It's filled in, but this one is just kind of like hanging in there and there's no connection whatsoever. The shoulder, as I was referring to when I was trying to push this in down further, in the new one it's actually all the way down. um, it's taller, but I don't know, guys. Let me know in the part here, which one do you think is better? Because it seems like, okay, they put on a neck, which is good because maybe this one doesn't have a neck to look at. But at the same time, I feel like the neck on this one might be too much. I don't know. Maybe like this, maybe like a slidge lower would have been better, but it doesn't go down. That's not supposed to go down like that. That pushes down a flap in there somewhere. I don't know why. Um, and articulation wise, have that there. It's everything is more solidly connected on this one. I'm gonna twist it off to the side over here for comparison. So as you can see, his the edge of his ladder system is fully completely down, and this one, it does need to be there for stability. But as you saw in while I was in transforming it, and I don't know if it's meant to be this way, but you can actually remove the entire ladder system if you feel like it. And there's Prime without his ladder. um, it's funny. I guess this also doubles as some sort of cannon if you want to. Okay, and then also in the video that I did notice that you can put his gun over here. There's his back. Oh, there's notice there's that one tampo over there. Look at the back. The back on the original is longer, bigger, more prominent. Here it's just so much more smaller. The only thing is like this. I wish they'd found a way so this doesn't. There's really no reason for these to be constantly removed, and yet this thing always keeps falling off. In the original, obviously, it doesn't come off. It just stays there, and this one just keeps popping off. That it becomes a little bit of irritating. What else can I show on this one? And there's the back over here. There's the front, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just hold this by hand while I do close-ups on both together. Okay, so forgive the shaky part of the camera. So I'm just gonna hold this really close. I don't have a lot of charge left, 15 minutes. Just to show off more details on the face and the body. This does open to reveal the matrix. I thought that was supposed to be painted, but it's just clear green for me. It can be removed, but it's so recessed over there that it'll be just too much of a hassle. But you can remove it if you want. This, I think I showed you guys, this is wider than the original. A lot of paint. thankfully, so I was mentioning in robot mode, there's a lot of bare paint on the vehicle, but for some reason, the painted parts of the vehicle that they chose ends up being right in front of the robot. So it's a lot more colorful than the vehicle. Here is the old Prime. As you can see, he has to step down a little bit. That's to show it off. But this one in the new Prime is translucent plastic. I'm gonna switch back really quick, and this is the same one, same colorization. So we go over here, see? But see, this is the one that's painted yellow on the old one. A little bit more paint application here. This is much more detailed, while the old one is just like this. And the thighs are more curved here, while the new one is more harder edged. The rims on this one of some sort of Cybertronian wheel, which I don't remember if we even see. It's much more beefier here. As you can see here, it's just like almost like an afterthought, but this actually serves a function, as you saw during the transformation. There's the leg part, and the leg part of the originals over here. So off to the side, here is the side over here. There's the gun that I was referring to. Autobot symbol is facing, oh, his is, I made mine face forward and the original is facing backwards. Huh, interesting. But I did it right though, because see, the silver is on this side and the original is on this side. And if you look at the original, it doesn't have that in the back. And the new one has it. Oh, it goes both ways. So if I want to, I can actually flip it. Yeah, if I want to. I want it facing forwards. But if you want to, you have the option of following this one. Okay, so the other differences from the new one. This is the new one over here. As you can see, this one goes up and down. And notice also this is solid. The old one doesn't have that. It just goes forwards and back, and it does have a screw in there. Here's to the side of that. It does feel, this whole assembly over here does feel solid. I was afraid it was going to be like weak connection, but so it pegs in here as you saw from the transformation, and then it clips on. And then this one, there's nothing to hold on to, but this part over here does have a peg into a hole that it connects to make it more stable. In the instructions, I didn't see the part where I was instructed to flip this over, but I did it anyway. There's the back. I like the fact that this thing is not so massive. As you can see, in the original, it goes all the way down to his crotch area. So I'm really amazed at how much they incorporated this from this one to this one. It does make you feel like this was a really good set of engineering that they did, and then they just improved on it. Like I said, it feels like this Haslab is the toy that we wish we had way back then. Everything's much more secure, at least for Prime. I'm really afraid to see what's going on with Ultra Magnus and everything, because Ultra Magnus was really bad in its own transformation. I don't want to remind myself how it happens, but we'll have to go through that and see. And that's it, I think, right? That's it. That's pretty much all that matters, right? Let me put myself back on the tripod. All right, so I think for Prime itself, I haven't seen the Omega Prime yet. How much did we pay? But it's like $275 or something like that. This is the original, and I remember I think thinking like I bought this for like maybe $50 back then. When it was reissued, and I looked at it, I don't know if that was the original price, but on Big Bad Toy Store when it was reissued and it was still in stock for both of them, Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus, it was a $200 set. And I was thinking like, well, is if Haslab is offering a much upgraded units for 275, it's a much better value. You know what I mean? And it is. Everything we could have hoped for, at least for the Prime unit that we had gotten on the old Transformer, we have on this one. It's just everything secure. Was there other things that I could have wished for? Yes. Um, because for a Haslab, um, for a high, because we think of Haslab as a high, how would I put it? A much more higher level of detail is needed. And I kind of, for the hands, it would have been nicer to have a more articulated set of hands. Um, let's see, does this have ankle pivot? It does have ankle pivot. We should talk about the articulation, right? Before I start. Oh, look, butterfly joint, which is not there. His breast is showing. Rotation, no ratchets on the rotation. There's a rotation over ratchet over there. Look, the shoulders aren't popping off, kind of like this one. All right. Bend the elbow at 90 degrees, fine. With a twist, fine. Rotation on the wrist is all you have. The guy from Hasbro does say there is still a twist in here because this one is covered, so you can lift that if you want to add to the twist. And technically, I don't know. I'm gonna experiment. Technically, it should have forward down because this is not fully extended yet. See, technically you can fully extend it and do whatever you want. Right? I don't know if I was supposed to do that honestly, because this is, in order for this to go in, it was supposed to swing in and out. Yeah, I don't know. I was supposed to do that. Oops. But anyway, technically you can have an ab crunch because you still have that bend over there, but obviously it looks awful, 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 awful like that. Let's see. So this, okay, so I'm gonna try to squeeze this in. This is what happens when you do things on the fly. But I will say this too. The construction of the materials and everything, at least for this part, I'm not as afraid as I would be if it was a third-party masterpiece, or if it was a masterpiece with very thin segments. I have an upcoming video where I was reviewing Zeta Toys' Omega Superion, and that one I have to be very, very careful with the transformation and everything. This one I'm not so afraid that I kind of experimented pushing it down out of transformation steps, because I feel like there's not a lot to break, or it would take a lot to break stuff on this one. Let me put it that way. So this one, because I kind of mucked it up, I'm gonna try to kind of squeeze it in. There you go. Now tab it back in, kind of. So yeah, you can kind of experiment. See, so I'm not as afraid to play with this one as I would be with this one. This one you kind of have to be careful. This one you're okay. You're okay. Trust me, you're okay. Okay, and then it has a thigh cut. The connection, this one seems pretty good. Oh, it has an outward movement like that. So much stronger ratchet than this one. This one's a little bit softer. I do feel like I can still play with it a lot, but I mean, I'm a grown man anyway, an old man. So it's not like I'm going to be playing with this all the time like I would be as a kid. But I feel like it could suffer a few rotations, a few movement before you start wearing down the plastic. I feel like that, you know. So yeah. So I definitely believe that if you have the option between the two, you have to get this one. It would be crazy to say, oh, I want to get this one because the old one's better. It's not. Okay? Let's be frank. Let's be clear. This is the version that you want. There's nothing in this version that says this part is better than that. Nothing. Oh, except this one does have sound. And this one does have projectiles. I have to amend that. This one does not have that. But yeah, for everything else, it's this one. That's it for my review of Optimus Prime Haslab Transformers. I am going to go ahead and work on the transformation of Ultra Magnus, and then I'll review that separately. And then I'll review Omega Prime separately. Man, it feels like I'm milking it, but I'm not. As you can see, it just, the transformation takes a while. You can skip that if you don't want it. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys again on my next part of the review. Bye.